Morning everyone, it's Sunday morning, hope you're all well. Just thought I'd share something, a little idea, which at first might sound a little abstract. It's like, what, what will the relevance of this be? But it's also got a practical consideration, a practical application, a solution, if you like, for me. So I like to think sometimes about this idea, about our purpose, why we're here, just the small things. um, and I've listened to and read and come across lots of people throughout, in the last few years, and an idea which a few people say in a different ways about purpose. What is it? And they link it to a grander purpose, a grander narrative. So, I mean, we're going to go with a lot of assumptions here. So, but it's just for the sake of explaining it really. So, if we assume that we are all connected, we are all part of the same thing. There's nothing that's disconnected. Everything's interdependent, related to, and somehow affected by the processes around them, and that goes on to infinity throughout the whole universe. So if we assume that, if we assume we're all connected, and there's no disconnection, then we can assume that we're, the biggest possible connection we've got is to the whole universe. Okay, so when we're thinking about purpose, then it's not just about our purpose. It's tied into the purpose of all things, the purpose of the universe itself. So I like the idea that, I think Eckhart Tolle puts it best. It's like your place in the universe is you're a unique and original aspect of the universe. The universe itself wants to grow. It wants to experience itself, and the best way of possibly doing that is by the multiple different kinds of creation that it produces, all of those each having their own individual experience. So if you add up all of the things that are in the universe and all of their experiences, it's a rich tapestry of experience that's pleasing the universe, if you like. And as it continues to create and continues to produce things, it's constantly being able to explore new forms of experience, new forms of existence. So obviously human beings is a rich aspect of that, because all of the different ways that we can all experience, not just individually, but together. And I mean, even just one person, the amount of experiences and the available to that one person, even in the course of one day, is incredible if you think about it. So yeah, and the purpose is obviously to grow with that. So bear that in mind for in a moment. So that's like, okay, that's a lovely theory. That's quite abstract again. There's a lot of assumptions there. How can you prove that? Is it necessary to even start thinking along them lines? Well, okay, let's go with this then. Let's imagine that that's true. Now, I'll refer back to something from some other videos that I've done in the anxiety series, which is about when you feel an anxiety or anything kind of in the spectrum of fear, or any kind of negative emotion, really. What I find through the great wisdom and experience of other people who I've read and listened to, digested and absorbed the information, what I find as the solution to negative emotion, or just feeling like shit, whatever way you want to call it, is to actually step into that feeling or those feelings even more. So what does that mean? So that means, okay, so not stepping into the feeling or acknowledging them is when you're resisting it. So when you're resisting it, it's like you don't want to feel that way. Why, it's like why this, why that, why am I feeling like that? Why is this situation happening that's making me feel like that? All of the misery comes along with it, and so yeah, it's a form of resistance, and then it all is linked also to behavior, which is a form of escapism, trying to get away from those feelings. So there's a whole range of behaviors and thoughts that are attached to resisting how you feel. So when you don't resist how you feel and you step into the feelings, that means what? It means, okay, first of all, acknowledging the feelings, acknowledging what's going on, and being willing to feel them. Literally just sitting there and letting them feel, because they are physical things. They manifest as thoughts as well, but it's possible to sit and let those feelings be there, not resist them, not try and get away from them. That obviously comes with confidence and doing it over time, and building an understanding and a trust that these feelings aren't gonna ultimately hurt you. Paradoxically, they hurt you even more if you resist and trying to escape. It always comes back in some way, or grows even. The thing is, when you try to feel them, you let it be there, the energy eventually wears out. It courses through the body. It kind of does its job and passes. And it's possible, depending on the strength of the feeling and the amount of life story that's attached to it, to be okay within a sitting of a few minutes. Sometimes it obviously takes a lot longer to be able to process pain that's a lot deeper and stuff like that, of course. Okay, so how is this all linked to what I was saying about the purpose of the universe and us and stuff like that? Well, if you wanted proof that our purpose, if you like, is to report back and give the universe the experience that it so wants, then what would follow from that is that we have to feel and experience things as much as we can. We have to see, we have to feel that ultimate truth of the whatever experience we're going through. And there's emotion involved in that. So if we're resisting or escaping or denying or trying to get away from how we feel, it's like we're not doing our job for the universe of which we are a part. We're not feeding the information back, and the universe isn't getting what it wants from you, and ultimately it's not growing, because you grow if you process emotion and process feeling. If you don't, you get stuck. I'm describing all this as though it's very, very easy. It's not. It's obviously a lifetime's work, and it's something that we have to come back to every single day. But it just helps me when, say, I'm feeling bad for whatever reason, and in whatever way that's manifesting. It's like an extra little reminder for me that, oh, I've got a job to do here. This isn't just for me. I've got to report back to the universe, do my part. I've got to give as true a reflection and a report of my experience as I possibly can, and I can only do that if I actually sit there and willingly feel it and observe it properly. And all the benefits come on the micro level, which is me or you, us individually, and on the macro level as well. You're contributing to something so much greater than yourself, and the relationship between that and what that provides in terms of the sense of duty and responsibility and what that does for you, it's all positive. it's all positive. So, okay, the abstract ideas, is it worth thinking about that? Is it true, thinking about the universe and how can we possibly know about the universe and what the universe wants and all that kind of stuff? But if you're willing to entertain it for just a minute, and then also you're willing to treat your emotional state in the way that I've said, and you can do these two things separately. You can just do the second part of it, the practical thing in terms of dealing with your emotional state, but one complements the other, and it's easy to see there's a relationship with that. Because like, yeah, it gives me that. For me personally, it gives me that extra little kick up the arse, if you like, to to process my emotion when it's negative. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot my job there for a minute. My job is to got to report back to this big thing that I'm a part of, and it helps. It helps. Um, Maybe true, may not be, but it seems to make sense on an experiential level. So I hope you got something from that. I hope that something resonates with you. As I say, these abstract ideas, these big ideas, sometimes they can be a bit over people's heads, but you can bring it all down really to an individual level and bring it down, right down to the ground in the most realist way possible, which is like, are you gonna feel, are you gonna experience your life in the best, most fullest way you possibly can? Like, why wouldn't you want to do that anyway? You know, So I'll leave it there. Thanks for listening, everyone, and I'll see you again in another video.